Hello everybody, this is not a crypto expert chiming in with another video, and in this video I wanted to point your attention towards a YouTube video that I ran across. But before I get into the video, I would like to ask you to please like, give me a heart, give me a thumbs up, give me a share. I love the difference of opinion. Just let me know that you are not a bot. So let's go on ahead and let's get into the video. And the video is on YouTube, and this is the Financial Services Committee. I would actually recommend watching the entire video. It was pretty interesting to see government work. They were communicating. There were no heated exchanges. There was like one joke that I thought was funny from a Republican that didn't seem to go over well, and the room really just kind of, the Democrats in this particular instance just seemed to just really just needed to lighten up just a little bit. But they were, the beginning of the meeting was about two committees that they're starting to, for one is for fintech and the other is for AI. And for the most part, regarding fintech, they were open to keeping consumers protected, making sure that the people that don't have the as much disposable income are not left out of the digital currency phase of where we're going. So like I said, I would highly suggest that you watch the entire video. It's not bad. I'm not going to call it boring because this is actually something that we need to be paying attention to if you are in the United States. Now, this guy right here on the screen, this is Mr. Sherman, Mr. Brad Sherman. And I just wanted to play what was said after the first part of the meeting, where they at this point they've already wrapped up the introduction of the two committees, and they're talking about banks having to report $10,000 deposits over a certain amount, and how nowadays it's causing banks a lot of time, and larger banks are able to devote more time and resources to it, whereas smaller banks are having issues because they have to devote generally, well, it just smaller banks aren't able to they're spending more resources than they need to be on something that doesn't need to be accounted for. So they're actually talking about an amendment to that particular bill. So it's not about the two committees. So this had nothing to do with cryptocurrency. However, Mr. Sherman brought this up, and he makes some valid points, but I'm going to play his video, and then I am going to press play, or excuse me, pause on things that I disagree with, and just curious as to what you all think. So,
for what purpose does the gentleman from California seek recognition?
To strike the appropriate number of words and address the House for
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
A lot has happened since the $10,000 limit was set. We've had a tremendous amount of inflation, so it's really a much smaller amount of value. The $100 bill has not been indexed for inflation, and so what used to be a maximum level of currency that only a drug dealer would touch is now almost in general circulation, and there are no proposals to issue a larger bill. So the efforts to control illicit, or at least make more difficult illicit finance in cash, have been ratcheted down because the value of the largest bill has declined, and the value of the largest amount of money in cash you can deposit while triggering a report has declined. On the other hand, the banks face more and more reports because, again, $10,000 isn't what $10,000 was decades ago. But the amount of legitimate uses of large amounts of cash have declined as more and more people use credit cards, debit cards, ETFs, etc. 30 years ago, it wouldn't be unusual for a restaurant to have more than $10,000 in cash at the end of the night. Today, it's all, it's mostly credit cards. So I think this bill does or this amendment does strike a good balance. I could have been persuaded to raise the $10,000 limit a bit now, given how it differs tremendously in buying power from when the limit was originally set. But I think this amendment puts us in the right direction. I'll point out, though, that as we deal with illicit finance focusing on our banking system and our currency, cryptocurrency is moving in to fill the role. And so we can have all the suspicious activity reports, limitations on the maximum dollar size of any one unit of currency that we want. The Hamas website provides detailed instructions on how you can send that terrorist organization cryptocurrency.
Like, are you upset that cryptocurrency is efficient to send worldwide? Like, I don't really. I understand the aspect of we're trying to keep money out of the hands of people that intend to do people harm. However, you can't be upset that someone is using a platform that's more efficient than what's currently out there.
Cryptocurrency. If you look at the advertising for the boosterism of cryptocurrency, it reads like something between libertarianism and anarchism. Don't let anybody know what you're doing, especially the government. Here's how it's secure and secret. Here's how it can meet your needs if you're a tax evader, a drug dealer, and I would regard cryptocurrencies as the plastic gun of currency. That is to say, it can be used for a legitimate purpose. You can shoot a deer with a plastic gun. But the fact is that the advantage it has over traditional mechanisms is singularly a benefit for those who wish to commit crime. And I look for colleagues to join with me in introducing a bill to outlaw cryptocurrency purchases by Americans so that we nip this in the bud.
That sounds un-American. It's almost like, what are you afraid of?
In part because not an awful lot of our international power comes from the fact that the dollar is the standard unit of international finance and transactions. Clearing through the New York Fed is critical for major oil and other transactions, and it is the announced purpose of the supporters of cryptocurrency to take that power away from us, to put us in a position where the most significant sanctions we have on Iran, for example, would become irrelevant. So whether it is to disempower our foreign policy, our tax collection enforcement, or our traditional law enforcement, the purposes of cryptocurrency, the advantage it has over sovereign currency is solely to aid in the disempowerment of the United States and the rule of law. So I think this is a good amendment. It puts us in the right direction, and my time has expired.
Thank you. For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek
I love this
recognition?
response coming up.
Move to strike the last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Regarding my colleague's commentary on things that aren't in this bill with cryptocurrency, I would refer him to Billy Madison in A Certain Scene. May his wishes with regard to cryptocurrency never occur. With regard to this bill.
All right, so like I said, I'm not going to say I was entertained, but I have watched this video a few times and it wasn't bad. I would highly suggest that you check it out. Kind of know what's going on with the blockchain crypto space because I don't know if many people caught that. I know there are videos on YouTube with the same thing. I mean, it happened about a month ago. However, this is very important because, I mean, he's talking about outright banning the ability to own cryptocurrency. Why? So, with that being said, folks, I hope that you're having a great morning, a great afternoon, and an even better evening.